大家好，我是 Suran 在中国. Hey everyone, it's Suran in China today. It is a lovely day out here. It's a little bit gray and overcast, and I feel a couple sprinkles in the air, so I may not be able to do the video I was planning to do. But I've been getting a lot of questions and requests from my fan base to let them know a little bit more about the neighborhood that I currently live in. Because in the past, I lived in a very upscale, very nice neighborhood with lots of facilities, lots of interesting things to see and do, and a place where life was generally a lot more easy. However, now I live in a factory area, which is substantially different from your average neighborhood in Shenzhen. So I was going to go out today and give everybody a little glance at what it's like living in a factory town. And I wonder, would this be the kind of place that you could live in China? Or would you prefer one of the more modern and technologically advanced, beautiful neighborhoods like Nanshan, Shekou, Futian, or places like that? But before you make that decision, let's take a look at the neighborhood that I live in. So when it comes to the actual housing complex that I live in, it is very nice, very modern. There's a kindergarten right next door here. And if we take a look at the facilities here, there are 5 large 30-story buildings. There are facilities on the ground level for exercise, for playing. There's a little jogging circuit in here. There is places to park your bicycles, covered areas so you don't need to take up room in your apartments. My bicycle is currently down here as well. There are gardens. It is, of course, very dry at the moment because winter is coming. So it is the time of year that things dry up. We've got little kids' play areas over here with little rock climbing walls, little color coordination activities for the kids, chalkboards, slides. And of course, there's a table here for older folks who want to play Chinese chess, and these very interesting little rotation machines that are used by senior citizens to increase their joint mobility. So all of these things are available and more down here in our community. However, this is a little oasis in factory land. So let's head outside and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are. Welcome to the factory area of Baoan district, Shiyan, which is the neighborhood that I live in. And all around, you see these kind of short little buildings. These are dormitories for the factories that are all up and down this neighborhood. So what this means is this changes the residential landscape dramatically. Got some sweet potatoes and ginger for sale here, and then a huge truck full of oranges for sale over here. And the prices are fantastic. 4 renminbi for 500 grams. So that's about 80 cents for a pound. Substantially less than you'd pay for beautiful fresh oranges back home. Now this is more of the landscape that you're going to see here is industrial vehicles, trucks, people parked just absolutely everywhere. Little shops, little restaurants, the odd hair salon and business like that, but for the most part, it's nothing like the modern and more technologically advanced areas of Shenzhen that I have lived in the past. All right, that's just past the hair salon where I got my hair cut yesterday. So now I could head up to the sidewalk over here, but there's really not much to see other than trees and a metric shit ton of motorcycles. There's a little hotel here across the street behind this cement truck. More small residences over there. Straight down this street ahead is the lake that I go to ride my bicycle. But today I want to walk down this street and show you what we've got going on here. Now, typically in these type of streets, you will find hair salons, bakeries, restaurants, pharmacies, music stores, all sorts of things for daily life that would be utilized by the people living in the immediate area. However, here you're going to see that it's a different world. Here we've got an industrial store with industrial products, tools, fans, electrical supplies, things of that nature. Surprisingly, a lot of these are closed today, but that's simply because a lot of these places cater just to the factory crowd. And since the factories are still working, but the people are not out and about so much, a lot of them will be closed, and they'll be taking this as their one day off. Now, all along here, these shorter buildings that we're seeing, these are actually factories. And that's why they have these gated entrances here for the people to go in and out, because they're not public areas. They're absolutely factories. Not 100% sure what is being created in any of these places, but that's okay. So here we're getting to a dormitory, which would mostly just be workers in the factories living inside. And then on the ground floor again, you have a raft of different businesses. Now in this particular area, this is an auto body shop or an auto repair shop. And if we head down the street here, in between the two factories, we're going to see things like logistics companies, repair shops, fabrication shops. This guy's fabricating, obviously, or repairing fish tanks, right? We have water delivery shops here. This guy, all he does all day is deliver water. We have all manner of different little industrial type of areas. This company here makes aquarium tanks, custom made, of course. This next business here repairs and sells motorcycles and scooters, things like that. So if you happen to ride a scooter, which many people in this neighborhood do, that is where you'd go. However, and here we've got huge pieces of glass to be used for the aquariums. But let's head back out into the main street, where we can see a much broader variety of different businesses around. All right. Most people will look at me very strange in this neighborhood, simply because there are not a hell of a lot of foreigners living around here. I think I might be the only white man in the village in my direct neighborhood, and certainly the only one that would be walking around here filming this kind of thing, because, as you may have guessed, this is not a tourist area. So again, here we've got more auto body. If your car or your motorcycle needs work, you could come here. This is where I got my bicycle tires repaired and my bicycle oiled up for a nice ride out in the countryside. I believe it was this place, the next place here. They were very nice and helped me to fix up my bicycle for me. Again, another little industrial shop here. Looks like specifying in repairing motorcycles. This is a little machine shop where they are using lathes and different industrial tools to customize and make certain specialty little products. A plastic and sheet plastic company here. Another industrial lathe here. Not sure what they're using it for, but certainly they have their specific purpose. Then as we move along, we have a little hardware and screw company, another automotive shop. Again, if your car is outside of warranty and there's no longer any need to take it to the dealership, this is where you go. Here we've got tiles, sinks, and bathroom type of industrial goods. On the other side, they are selling and renting industrial lifts for companies that need that sort of product. Again, auto body right here, out here in the open. If you've got a problem, they'll fix it. Got a Benz in there being fixed. Got a printing press here, printing advertisements and signs like these for your company. Another little hardware, screws, nuts, bolts, things like that, shop, etc. So there's just a stark contrast to this exact type of area that you would find in Nanshan or in Futian, Shiko. This is all designed for working people. Here we've got tools, dowels, pipes, different things like that. Basically a little hardware store. Got a little restaurant here. We call this a point and click, where they have all the food laid out here and you can just pick and choose what you want. For foreigners, this is the easy way to go. And of course, your obligatory convenience store where you can buy snacks, drinks, cigarettes, things of that nature. But if you're starting to see a pattern here, it's because there is small little restaurants catered to these type of factory areas. So this is a large factory where these buildings straight ahead, these white buildings, will all be factories and manufacturing, where actual manufacturing is happening. And then these buildings here above will be where the people that work in those factories actually live. Oftentimes the housing is provided for those people, or it's very inexpensive for those that want to live there that do not have housing provided. Again, a couple more little restaurants here, right outside the gate of the main manufacturing, of course, so that makes it nice and easy. And these type of places are typically very inexpensive, very, very cheap places to eat. Up ahead here, we have another very interesting business, that being selling heavy industrial machines, front end loaders, forklifts, things of that nature. Like these guys here. I'm guessing that these places typically will rent this equipment as opposed to selling it for when companies have specific need. I do know how to and am licensed to operate this kind of equipment back in Canada, so I find it personally quite fascinating. However, I don't think I'll be looking for that type of work in China. This is a little car wash here that also does minor repairs, oil changes, things of that nature. More industrial piping. This is a little massage parlor here that does offer a variety of different services for those who are looking for it. I myself try to avoid those type and stick to the more legitimate places. Here again, more industrial tools, dies, taps, things like that. Another little shipping company, logistics. And as you can see, this is the trend. This is the going pattern in this neighborhood. It's not about providing services to families and people who are working in the blue collar industry. This entire neighborhood, as far as the eye can see, is literally just warehouses, factories, logistics companies, and businesses, like we've just seen, that cater to them. All right, everyone. So there you go. This is my neighborhood. So when I told you before that I lived in Factory Town and that there was really bugger all around for people to do that weren't actually working in the factories, I wasn't lying. I wasn't pulling your leg. And as I remind my boss all the time, I personally think he's very lucky to have found a guy like me who is not only willing to live in a neighborhood like this, but actually doesn't mind living in a neighborhood like this. Yes, it's nice to have all the facilities like the fancy shopping centers, the very convenient, affordable, and fast subways, because there are no subway stations around here. Public transportation is more difficult. There just aren't as many options for entertainment, relaxation, eating, things of that nature. But you know what? At my age, I'm more than content with living in this way. I've really incorporated myself enough, I believe, into the culture and style of life in China that I can roll with the punches. I can live in the ultra convenient, ultra cool, ultra modern areas, but I can also live in these more industrial, factory and warehouse ridden areas as well. And that's all good for me. I mean, realistically, I could spend a few dollars and hop in a Didi and get myself to a much more fun and convenient area if I wanted to, but for the most part, I'm happy to be here. And I hope you're happy that I shared this little journey with you. I could show you so much more, but honestly, it's a lot more of exactly the same. Factories, warehouses, small restaurants, convenience stores, and that's about it. So for now, I'm going to sign off and say thank you so much for joining me today. Xie xie Niemen, and we will see you in the next video.